Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Now, this is going to be a little hardcore. I usually am pretty hardcore. I go outside the box as much as I can. The first thing is truth. What does it mean to you? What is truth? The same as everybody says they have their own truth. What does that mean? What's it entail? And is your truth even provable to you? Not that you're alive and eating, but what you believe in, what you accept as truth for yourself, and that kind of an idea. Just getting used to my new camera. I hope it's clear, which it looks pretty clear to me. So how do you go about proving truth to yourself? Well, that's something you should figure out in your life and do, because that way you can move forward knowing that you're doing the best you can, you're aware the best you can, and working from that level. Now, we're going to go into whose truth is out there. The governments, religions, your parents, your friends, they all have their truth, and it's all being pushed and shoved upon you. All right. Outside of them, we have abductions going on, possession, and all these things affect everybody's truth as well. But who's in control of all this stuff? Now, you can say you are, God is, spirit is, whatever. Now, living life, which is what everybody's doing, always comes up this idea that they're going to figure out what their life's mission is in this life. All souls in all realms in the physical reality only have one goal: to understand themselves as soul. All right. That being said, what does that mean? That's what you're here to learn and understand. And it's not about programmed ideas. It's not about having children, getting married, building a house, buying the best car there is, jumping out of a plane. It's not those kind of things. So what is it really? Soul, which is what you are. You can believe every teaching you want, but I'm going to tell you the truth is you are individual, and that idea of one consciousness is the most ridiculous idea. If you were all one consciousness, would you need individual consciousnesses to experience things? No, you wouldn't. And why would you want to? If all this stuff is a part of me, why would I want that tree to have feelings outside of myself? All right. It's not the same. Every soul is to learn what it is and to move forward from there. And God allows soul to grow incredibly. Planet Earth, soul doesn't grow. Oh, I learned. What did you learn? What did you learn in a lifetime? And you're reincarnating so many times. What did you learn? My higher awareness. I'm up there. And where's that? In your mind, in your ego. All right. Teachings tell you you're one consciousness. You're part of the cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness, universal consciousness. Do you have a clue what any of them mean? They're all man-made words pertaining to the ego of a person. Christ consciousness, what would that mean? Well, what was Christ? Oh, and then his consciousness. Well, are you Christ? Do you understand Christ? Do you even know Christ? I would say Jesus, not Christ. But would you know him? Of course you don't. So how can you say you're his consciousness? Do you know what he ate? Do you know how he lived? Do you know anything about him? What he really thought? So to be a consciousness of something you don't even know is ridiculous. Universal conscious means space. And there's lots of space out there. So are you a part of space? Do you want to be? You got a little body you're living in. Why live in this little body if you can be in all that space? Why would you even want to come here to be in a body? None of it is even able to fit into the programmed idea of what you believe it is. All right, let's go beyond consciousness. God's consciousness versus yours. There's self-awareness, meaning understanding what you are as soul, which is you. And that's what you are. And you each have a separate one. When you die by yourself. You go somewhere that's specific for you because of your karma. You don't go wherever you want. You don't do whatever you want. You're under control of the spiritual laws or the physical laws of each realm you move into. Now, something people might not like to hear or want to hear, the idea that, oh, I travel all these different worlds. I travel here. I travel there. 99% of all souls are connected by a silver cord. Oh, I don't know what that is. I don't see it, because you don't realize that it's still there. It's what keeps soul grounded and able to come back to this physical world. If you jumped out into space and shot out trillions of light years away, and then you said, okay, find your way back home, would you be able to? Do you think you would be able to? How? So the idea, soul, God created the most perfect device, worlds that we could possibly ever desire or want, but we screw them up. But we don't get into the higher worlds. They're too incredible, and God wouldn't let us destroy them. But as far as this world and the astral plane, we're doing pretty bad, both realms. And they're merging together because of government problems, what they did. I'm not going to get into that in detail right now, but there's so much twisted truth. The real truth, is it there? That big. If you look around, you might find it. I'm not a comedian. I'm not here to entertain you. If you're looking for entertainment, listen to a comedian. Listen to another storyteller. That's entertaining, because the stories are so delusional. Sorry about that. Just checking my chat room there. Let me just put something in there if anybody comes in. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We got to start at the lowest level, planet Earth. What are we here for, really? To find out what you are soul. But what does that mean? How do I find out what I am? Well, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. How about how you react to situations? How you relate to family? How is your thinking on spiritual ideas? Are you programmed? Are you locked into ideas? Do you accept what you hear out there from other people? All right. Now, if you believe that you're a religion person in a religion, that pretty much controls the way you're going to think. If you don't believe in God, that's going to control pretty much the way you think. If you believe in Jesus, that might help you think in a programmed way, which is not right. We're going to go into that. But you've been abducted. So now you have a new idea of life and an idea of reality. Still programmed. Aliens are not like we are. They don't have feelings and emotions the way we do. They don't think like we do, and they have different reasons for what they do. Now, I always use the simplest scenarios I can. If there's go outside in your yard, find an ant colony. All right, try to talk to those ants. Tell them to do something. Ask them to do this or that. Will they listen? Can they hear you? I'm sure they can hear the vibrations coming out of your mouth, but do they want to listen to it? They listen to a queen, the same as bees do. Why and how do they listen to a queen? And it's not on a physical level. So getting back to the point, are you going to be able to teach an ant colony anything? So if you think a race is spiritual, which people do, most alien races, oh, they're spiritual. They're more spiritual than we are. Why? Because they travel through space. If I built a rocket and traveled through space, would you believe I'm more spiritual than anybody else? What makes people believe that? Well, the programmed ideas of all the deities and alien gods that came to planet Earth. The ones that have helped program the thinking of human race. We can go into humans real short. Are we all equal? Are we all the same? No, not at any level. Somebody has a heart problem. Somebody has one leg. Somebody can't see. Are you equal? Well, he breathes air and he needs to eat. Yeah. But can they do the same things? You know, being equal means equal, 100% equal. Oh, yeah, what, 25% equal because we all breathe air and things like that. But to say the whole world's equal, beliefs control how far you can go in being who you are. Your abilities are cut by what you believe in and what you think. Things you can do, things you can't do, things you say you can't do because your religion says so. I've been there. I've done it. Everything's controlling on this planet. Your jobs, the people that make the jobs, and what's going to happen is all controlled already, not by you. Mankind has given up all his rights right after Atlantis went down. We were a free race then. We didn't eat meat. We didn't kill. We didn't have to talk much. It was beautiful. Everything was clean and healthy. Water, air, the ground, fruit, vegetables. But that changed. When Atlantis went down, a few races came down here to play with our thinking. But during that time frame, there were 9 races here in the beginning. 5 races left. And I'm not talking about on a ship. I'm talking about spiritual beings that they became spiritual. And they let go of their bodies. And they're colored races: blue, purple, green, red, clear. And they became gods. One of each one of them races became a god of this realm. If you want to understand it, try a deity like Shiva. All right, different race. They were brought here from a different world. Now, just for all the people that believe we all came from Africa, all the black race came from that, you have to be at a really dumb situation to believe that. I'm sorry to think the black race is the same as the red race. The red race is the same as the white race. Why did their lips change, their ears change, their body hair change? Why did everything about the body change specifically to a certain color, certain thing? Or the weather, this excuses and stuff. But no, we're different races. Or DNA. DNA is a man-made idea. Everything's man-made because we're on the physical world. And what man perceives is created by their consciousness. And we each have one of that, a consciousness, our own. But things get accepted when group people accept an idea. That's why a theory is a theory, but a fake theory, a conspiracy theory, is considered people that go against what the theory is. So if there's 1 million people that believe one thing and 10 people that believe another, obviously they're a conspiracy theory. Not that they're right or wrong. They're just that. People don't accept it. Witchcraft and witches were considered evil. Why? Because they had powers that people didn't have or used them. I mean, there's always an excuse and a reason behind what's happening. Why did the British and the Spanish come into the United States and help kill 50 million Native people? Think about it. And mankind says the United States is a free race, a free program race, because they wiped out the race that was free. You have to think real. You have to look at the facts, look at history, and don't accept what's written in any book, carved on any tablet, or some supposedly spiritual person, shaman, medicine person telling you. I'm just saying the truth is there, but these people don't have it. Do I have it? I have a truth. You can accept it or not, but you can prove it to yourself whether it's real or not, which is up to you, and you should. Whatever I tell you, don't have to believe it. But think about it. Let it go through that thing between the 2 ears that's in that top part of your head and see what it comes up with. Now, mind is a programmed computer. It really doesn't think for itself. It runs on the programs that get fed to it. A baby without any programming is a baby, and it'll die a baby. As it gets programmed, it becomes the program that it's running on. So we don't have to go into science to prove that or anything. The facts are there. If a baby's taken with an animal, which happened a couple times in history, they become that animal. They don't know better. So when we talk about things, we have to be real to ourselves, real to the truth that we don't know. Because when we believe our truth is so important, we're not going to get the real truth. Now, I spent my whole life dealing with every aspect of truth, from aliens, government, deities, angels, demons, you name it. They're all real. Give me 1 second to let the little guy out. If you will. Sorry about that. He has to go out there and grumble. So, I don't think that was a good idea. So, when we talk about this space that we are with free will to think and understand about life and who we are, you can listen to these people go on with stories that exaggerate and go everywhere except to where the truth is. The truth is, life here as soul is not about learning about life here. Well, you have to work to get money to pay the debt. But you know, when we were working together as group people, not group consciousness, but group people working together like the native people did, you didn't have to learn much. I'm not saying they were spiritually aware, which they weren't. Nobody was. Nobody is. Spiritual beings don't stay here. There's no reason to. Oh, I'm going to change mankind. Well, if God wanted to change mankind, it would have changed it in the very beginning. There'd be no reason to go through this growth period. So incarnation and reincarnation go over and over and over and over, and you could do it thousands of times. I mean, you could go backwards, but soul usually moves forward. You can go into a rabbit or an animal or a creature, but usually soul decides to take a giant step and go into a better place than where they're at. And that usually means, okay, I'm ready to grow. But when you're working with a bunch of people and you're all doing things, you're constructive. You're learning the abilities of planet Earth. So there's nothing to learn there except just be. And tribes died out. There was 650 tribes in the United States, which the government wiped out most of all of them. So how far are we going in all this? When you become aware of yourself and say, what am I going to do to understand who I am? Well, meditation is the starting point, but taking a meditation to the next step is the most critical. Understanding death, going through a near-death experience, and then the first thing that you probably could work at a little bit more easier than that is out-of-body experience. You have to understand soul is separate from the body. And once you do that, you realize the body is not what soul is. It's like when you drive a car and you drive around the city, drive around the state, the country. You get out of the car, you're separate from the car. Even though you feel it got you around everywhere, you're still separate. You're not the car. So when you get out of your body, you realize the brain, the nervous system, the heart, the lungs, and everything else is here. It's not a part of you. So you're separate. So people believe in, I'm not going to get into consciousness in great detail right now, but there's separation. Individual consciousness, which is what we are, and how it affects the body. Now, the mind has its own programs. And when it steps back in the body, the mind has certain things that it wants to do or it does do. And it fights soul. So there's this battle, which is what you need to learn while you're in the body, is how to separate that. How to listen to soul is critical in surviving life and moving forward in a good way. Because every time you don't listen to soul, you could have an accident, you could hurt somebody, and all those things happen usually because you're not listening. Oh, I wasn't going to do that. Oh, I forgot. Whatever. If you listen and you can hear it, you can usually move forward in a better way than not. So learning how to hear yourself is a simple technique. I'm not going to give it to you right now, but a real simple technique, how to do that. And you need these little things in your life to help you move forward spiritually, to become spiritual. Without them, you will never attain it. You could get the best job on the planet, have the best wife or husband on the planet, the best children on the planet, the biggest house, and multiple cars. And it'll have nothing to do with spirit. It'll have nothing to do with God. It'll have nothing to do with soul. Because when you die, every single one of them things stays here and you leave. Well, again, if you're attached, which is one of the things that keep people from unfolding, they'll come back. Oh, I want to be with my family. I want to help. And then all these stories, oh, my angel. You don't become an angel because you die, and you don't become more aware because you die. The fact of leaving your body is the awareness you attain, all right? But that's only the starting point. Because when you go to the astral plane, everything there is different. How you live, what you do, how you react to things, what you can do. You can't kill people, which is probably the best thing for most people. But negative people, demons, and all that come down here. So we have to take that step and say, hey, look, I'm ready to start a spiritual path or find it. When you make a decision to do that, your guides, spiritual guides, are there. And they're willing to work with you. I'm saying deities could be there. A lot of different things will work with you when you're ready to move forward. But if you still think sex and drugs are the most important thing, they can't help you. They can't teach you anything. Scientists, how come? Here's the thing I looked at. 99% of, that's a little over, maybe we'll leave it at 90% of people that drink and can. I mean, some people have no money at all and they can't get anything. But people that drink is a big percentage of the United States. And it's an excuse to meet people, to talk to people. Well, let me get a drink. You might say something that might upset me. Why do you need a drink? Well, I'm nervous. I'm upset. There's always an excuse, but everybody does it. And then if you're not drinking, you're smoking. If you're not smoking, you're doing hardcore drugs. Very few people stay clean in that way. I'm not saying right or wrong. People that do absolutely nothing still don't have to become spiritual. Just because you're not doing drugs, you're not drinking, doesn't mean you're spiritual either. I don't claim to be spiritual. I don't. When I do become that, I'll leave planet Earth and stay away. I won't come back. You can't help a tree become a potato. You can't help a potato to become an ocean. I mean, delusional ideas like changing mankind and make it a compassionate, loving world? Why? What will happen? If you didn't experience Atlantis, you would never understand that at any level. And these people talk about it, but they didn't experience it. Inner projection and perception are incredible. When you look at a person and they talk to you without moving their mouth, you're aware of what they're thinking, good, bad, or indifferent. When you can't hide feelings, it becomes so different. I'm going to tell them I love them, but I just want to have sex with them. I'm going to tell them this because I just want this. I mean, when you see beyond that and know it, a person can't lie to you. Police say, did you do the murder? They can't lie because it's in their soul. What you are is your soul. You can't lie about your soul, your aura, which people don't talk about much anymore. Everybody has an aura. Aliens, creatures, insects, bugs has an aura. And if you can't see it, it's not there. If you can see auras is what I'm talking about. So we talk about future races, future mankind. What's going to happen? Are you watching what's going down right now? Getting back to liars. I want to start with that again. Sorry, I had a lot of different problems when I was little. I see things backwards. I think backwards. I think nothing in a stationary mode. Everything to me goes around and is a part of it. So it's like everything does fit together if you learn how to put it together. It's like a puzzle. And you throw the pieces all over the place. You pick up one piece, you know nothing. Take 10 pieces, you know a little, real little. But when you squeeze all the puzzle pieces together and look at the whole picture, you get a great idea of what truth is. So I've been there, I've done it. I had 5 death experiences. I spent 40 years traveling out of my body. I met with an alien. I met with creatures, demons, Lucifer, Jesus. I was alive when Jesus was alive. That's a whole lifetime for me. And Atlantis, I was alive in Atlantis. So all those things put together help you see what the truth is. Not what mankind wants you to believe, not what alien races want you to believe. Aliens are implanting things here and now to make us believe certain things. I don't know if you know much about Billy Myers. He worked with aliens, and he did. Parts of his stuff are lies, but when he did, he went in a cave and he pulled out a manuscript. It was supposedly the story of the documents on Judas, the one that supposedly betrayed Jesus. All right. In his books, he only had part of them because they were not in English and he was having them translated. And the families that had it were killed, and he only got part of it translated, and it's the town of Jamad. And they're words that are real. But he created the story of Judas. But in that, he tries to say Judas was an alien. But who put that book there, and how come he found it? The same year, they found an actual document, scroll somewhere underground, and it was Judas's manuscripts. But it was in multiple pieces, and it took 2 years for a rich person to have them put together. I mean, somebody was trying to sell it, and they had it for years. They couldn't sell it. And this person finally got it and decided to put it all together because it just crumbled. But 2 different stories in the same year. So do you think aliens were trying to make a new story come out of it? Sure, that Jesus was an alien. 90% of all the stories of UFOs, aliens, and people that speak about races talk about Jesus being an alien. All right, which is not true. As far as where he came from, he came like most people do, birth. Mary, the mother of Jesus, was pregnant, gave birth. Now, he had 2 brothers that actually became part of his followers. But it doesn't even talk about that in the Bible, because otherwise it wouldn't sound like he was so a special being, because, he was not conceived by normal marriage relationships. But I don't even want to go there. Jesus was a real person. He didn't have psychic abilities or any of that stuff until he was old enough to leave his family. And then he left and went to ascension, not ascending. Everybody ascends into the astral plane. Otherwise, they might get locked here. But if they go anywhere, it's ascending into the astral plane, not ascension into the astral plane. 2 separate words. We'll do shows on them, but not today. All right. As we move into this place, what was Jesus teaching? Again, that's not in the Bible. I can make this all about that. That's what my book, The True Teachings of Jesus from God Realization, is about. Please, if you're interested, read it or listen to some of my shows. I'm going to be doing a workshop very soon. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this planet. Hopefully not that much longer. I will try to get that out there for any soul that ever decides to move away from this reality, this dimension, this programmed lie that this is heaven. You heard the phrase, heaven is here and now. It is not. It's anything but. You're in hell. You want to live in hell and say you're in heaven? You can believe that. Watch the movie Lucifer. It's a lot more abstract, but it's a lot more closer to the truth than anything you ever heard. Lucifer, in my world, I work with Sergeant 18, and he talks about Lucifer and demons and everything. In my world, Lucifer is the highest archangel, and he watches over hell to keep souls in it. It's not about going into hell. It's about getting out of it. Mankind reverses the truth always. Think about it. This planet Earth, you see children get squished by cars, beat by their parents, raped by their parents, sold into slavery, abused by multiple people, women getting abused. All right. People's houses, poor people getting robbed. You see multiple things at high levels of pain and suffering. You see a car crash, you see all these people mangled, people shooting everybody up and chopping everybody up, eating people. I mean, you see all these things. You think that sounds like a place what heaven would be? Even an idea of heaven. If this is your heaven, you can't have a hell. What could get worse? Or be burning in fire forever. If you're burning in fire forever, you're not burning, are you? Soul can't be burned. It can't be chopped up, can't be shot, can't be squished, can't be anything. Can't be frozen. Well, if you hold that in mind, what soul is, which that's what it is, it doesn't have this solid body. So right there, you're in a different state. Who can hurt you when you're in that state? Only a higher being can, meaning God, or a deity. Deities are playing gods, are aspects of God in every realm that they control and watch over. The same as Lucifer, Jehovah, Balram, all the gods of the astral plane. People don't ever talk about that because they talk about aliens and energy. Have nothing to do with the truth. Science is only pulling us further and further away from what we are as soul to create this matrix system. Watch the Matrix 1 and 2 over and over, maybe 3 times, and you'll start understanding the program reality we're creating. Oh, this is all a dream. No, it's not a dream. Soul is not illusionary. You are that. Buddhist teachings are different. Every teaching takes you away from what you truly are as soul. And I studied many religions and spiritual paths, studied with many spiritual beings, and I learned the truth. The truth is, this is kindergarten to soul. Want to look at it anyway, look at this as the starting point for soul to start growing. But if you're growing on how to grow vegetables and you spend your whole life doing that, you're never going to understand anything about the next plane that you're going to go to when you die. And obviously, you're probably not going to be able to stay there because you didn't learn anything about it, and you're going to be back here, growing again in another lifetime. So it's a ridiculous little circle that man is creating for themselves under Lucifer's guidance because he wants to keep people here. Sure, he's happy to see his world stay the way it is and control them and watch what happens. I mean, it doesn't bother him. Kind of like an alien, no feelings, no emotions as far as that goes. But he's doing God's will. He's not doing his own will. Because every soul always, sooner or later, realizes there's some better place to go than wherever they're at. So if you think aliens of any level, of any race of aliens, has anything to offer the human race, no. They're here to learn from us. Why would they want to monitor us? Because we are able to become aware, which they are not. All right? We're able to experience higher things than they can. No alien race in the physical reality can go past the astral plane either. They have to go through human consciousness before they can get there. They can stay in the astral plane, but they can't go beyond it. And I don't want to get into the reasons why more entities, demons, and creatures and all that came here. And it started because of the Philadelphia experiment and the Montauk Project. But outside of that, we got possessions and abductions. Are they going to help people? No. It'll take away. Here's the things that see what's going on in this planet that people don't understand. Blame this, blame that. Rape, abductions, possession take away the soul's consciousness to move forward. It takes away and it blocks their awareness. It locks them into a reality that's sad, depressed. They can't move forward. I don't care what you say, anybody that was ever abused, raped, and things like that. It's in their consciousness forever until the day they die. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to forget it. You can forget it and hide from it. Close your eyes and just block out what you're thinking about and say, what's really, it'll be there. Soul doesn't erase its awareness. It grows from its awareness. But if its awareness isn't growing, it isn't growing. So the simplest thing is, why do we allow rape victims to suffer while the rapists get back out and have the ability to do it all over again? Possessions, nobody can stop that. I mean, exorcisms and stuff are done, but these demons keep coming here more and more right now. And then we go to abduction. Any abducted person is programmed. Show the proof that it's not. Show the proof that you were abducted. Show the proof of anything important. Now, in any abduction story, nothing good comes out of it. Usually they don't get hurt. They might feel pain and things like that, be naked and stuff like that. Then you can talk to some people that have sex with reptilians when they're there and things like that. I can tell you a story of a woman that I met personally. Hold on, let me just read what it's saying here. Is not enlightenment but control of loyalty. Yes, what I'm saying is they do take us and lock us from the truth. And when people don't realize that, they don't stop it from happening. Rape should be cut out to the max. A person that's get convicted of rape should stay in there, the same as a murder. But even a murderer gets out 6, 12, maybe 25 years, depending on how bad somebody thinks it is. Killing's killing. Rape is rape. You know, I don't understand why women don't get involved with changing that. And I talk about that a lot. If women don't stick together and fight, I mean, even the right to vote in all these aspects, the right to stand on the front line and get shot or shoot somebody, well, only, and I'm not saying this in an evil way, only a sad, sick person would want to do that. Why? Yeah, that's all crazy, but why would a woman want to go to the front line? To be equal. Not realizing soul doesn't need to be equal with evil beings. A person that kills somebody, guess what? Will reincarnate. They can play all the games they want. It already created so much karma that they're not going to be paid off in one lifetime. I mean, in Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill. In Revelations, it talks about if you kill, you can never be forgiven. If you're a Christian and believe you can be forgiven, it's a complete lie. Read the Bible. Read your own Bible. What's wrong with these people? Well, they only want to know, oh, I can be free. I can do what I want. Not true. And here's the spiritual law in the physical world, which becomes a physical reality. With total freedom, comes total responsibility. You don't get granted freedom until you're responsible for what you do. At every level. And I mean, fallen angels fell. Why do you think angels fell? When they're given a great amount of freedom and you abuse it, you lose it. I hope you're following. If not, I'm sorry. I'm only doing it the best I can. I will be doing a workshop in detail about the things we're learning, not learning, should be learning, the techniques to work with to find these and get to these. A near-death experience is the most important thing. Out-of-body experience as well. So that's how you can perceive what soul is. No other way. Otherwise, it's like describing a fruit without you ever tasting it. It's only a viewpoint of somebody else. Teachings and programs and stories are just somebody's conception of an idea or what they supposedly seen. And if you put 1 million people together and let them see something, 99% of them are going to have a different aspect to whatever they just saw. What color it really was it spinning, was it moving, how big was it really, and blah, blah, blah. And size is even different in realities. Size in the astral plane and the worlds beyond are so different than here. Interdimensional things can change size. We can. I mean, we grow from a baby to what we are, 6 foot max, 7 foot, whatever. But we need to be aware of this world, what it really is, not what it really isn't. Money is destroying it at every level. Relationships are dying, so love isn't the answer. Every speaker, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Dalai Lama, love and compassion and peace. 3 words that will never be able to exist on this planet. Not in a great way. And love, if you don't experience certain things, you'll never know what love is. Being in a relationship doesn't mean you're going to experience true love. People are forced into relationships in many parts of the world. Is that true love? Of course not. And then if you fall in love with somebody and you fall out of it, it wasn't true love. Love doesn't die. It goes with soul forever. So for me, I have love in my life of beings from Atlantis, from being with Jesus and Mary Magdalene, to the future, for saying what's going to happen and what I want to do with that. But I understand the reasons, and we all have reasons for our mission is not the reasons that you perceive and or really ever understand. Mine is complex. I'll do a show on it. Why I came back in this lifetime. You would think after being with Jesus, why in the world would I want to come back? Everybody wants to meet Jesus and leave. Well, it's a story, long story, dramatic. But we each have to find truth. And if we keep searching for it, it is only going to help soul become what it truly is. You're not going to find it from going to a UFO conference. You're not going to go by listening to somebody speak about it. Or you're listening to me, I'm only giving you ways to think that you need to think about. I mean, I'm not asking you to pay me to give you that either, am I? So if I do this workshop, it'll be super cheap. Sometimes I just feel if you don't charge anything, people don't think it's worth anything. When these people get away with charging $20,000, $50,000 for a workshop. Now, I'm not going to say his name, but he charges $1 million to sit with him for a day. He's one of the greatest speakers. But imagine paying that to speak to somebody. Do you know what kind of an ego that person has to have? That his truth is that important when it has nothing to do with spirit, God, death? Oh, well, it might get you a really good job. Meaning what? Make money? So the concepts of mankind has deteriorated so far. And we bring these people to our realities, like these UFO speakers now. Do you really care about the moon? It's always been there your whole life. Now do you care whether people are running around on it or not? Oh, you do? And Mars, which you don't see daily? Do you care people are running around on there? And what are they doing? Do you really want to know what they're doing on Mars? Well, let's bring it down to Earth. The Antarctica. Do you go there much? I doubt it. Do you know what's going on there? Do you really care? Well, if they're doing this and if they're doing that, what? If it doesn't pertain or help you, what good is it? What any alien race does, if it doesn't help us, what good is it? So I see ships every day. I could go out in the morning and see 10 ships and film them. But so what? I've been with this light ship that's been blinking at me and blinking at me. I said, look, you want to talk, talk. Don't waste my time. It's been a long time in my life, like a year now, and it's been getting greater and greater. But I said, look, I know I'm protected. I can't be abducted. I said, well, come down to my world. Maybe they can. And maybe that's my problem. But in general, the ships I see are just reptilians and grays and all those other kind of ships. But are they going to help us? Help you do what? What help do you really want in your life? And 99% of the people will say money. Not they want to find true love. Sure, we all say we do. But when we find it, how many people can keep their focus on that? I mean, every commercial, every movie, everything you see is sexual, trying to guide you into that idea and desire. And it ends up pulling you away. The internet pulls more relationships apart than puts them together. And more people create fake relationships online and believe in them as real. You watch the show on TV, on a not shocking, what is this called? Catfishing. Catfish. All right? It's horrible what people do and believe it. So, and these are people present today, young, supposedly smart and aware. Then you watch the prison movies. People fall in love with people in prison. All these ideas, they're not thinking about spiritual. It doesn't fit into the word spiritual. And I listen to the people that say they're spiritual. Preachers, ministers, rabbis, popes, and all those kind of people. What do they talk about? We all have to give it. The Pope says, give back to Christ. Walk in his footsteps. Walk in his footsteps? You can't. You're teaching this whole reality of like 2.4 billion people, and you can't walk in your own footsteps. You know, when people talk, I walk my talk. Please, I do. I walk in what I believe and know is. I will die in that as well. I hope whatever your truth is, you'll die for it. But then again, what I know, I challenge everybody on this planet daily. And you know what it is? They're afraid to face themselves. They won't come out with their truth. They don't want, let me just try to read what this is here. Well, you know, crazy, I'm going to say, my saying for crazy is I'm crazy, go insane. Everybody else is saying going crazy. Which would you rather be? Because you're going to go to the opposite stream sooner or later. So I'd rather go sane than go crazy. So I'd rather be crazy, go insane. But sane usually means you're accepted by what everybody accepts. Crazy means being accepted by what you think you are, being better than everybody else. All right. And you know your own truth. But with basically crazy usually is a lot closer to the truth than sane. Because if you're aware of what spirit tells you to do and do it, and just because society says it's not right, who's crazy? If spirit really guided you to run around naked, which nudist colonies and all those things do, why would it be wrong to walk down the street that way? Well, they can't accept it. They'll get twisted ideas and they'll get perverted. See, it's a reflection of what they created. I mean, the whole story about Adam and Eve, which is not a real story based on actual facts of anything, but the idea of nudity being wrong. All right. It can become wrong and become twisted, which is what has happened to it. I know I'm going all different ways, and I don't want to go too much longer, but I just want to say, look, let's get back to a couple little things. Why are you really here? What do you want to learn? What do you think you want to hear that's going to make your life better? Oh, an alien's going to come down and give you gold bricks next week, and they're going to make us all rich. Really? They're going to purify our ocean, purify our air, purify the vegetables we eat. That would be good, but are they? And when are they going to wait to do it if they were really going to do that? You know, here's my scenario. You're an aware being, and you got a little child, and you walk to the corner of the street. You see the light change. You know your child's going to run across the street. Do you wait and watch him go to run across the street? Or do you stop him before he does it? Well, being aware means being aware. It's exactly what it sounds like. And to say you're an aware being means you're full of it. And sadly, they have not been able to help us since day one. When Atlantis went down and they came here, they never gave us help to move forward spiritually. Look at the facts. Look at history. The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians, they were all evil races. Slavery was what they lived on. Gold is what they had their power with. Sound anything spiritual? And then what did they pray to? Aliens? Hinduism prayed to deities. Deities are more sexual than anything else, and I'm sorry to say that. I work with 3 deities. But Green Tara is not the perception of what most people perceive her as. Shiva is not the perception of what most people wrote and said that he was. So concepts of what man writes about anything is always twisted, foggy, and very far away from the truth of what it really is. So, I mean, even the government won't allow certain plants and herbs to be used as medicine because they can't make money off of it. And they say it's not really a substance that can be used as that, even though they could cure a lot more things. Like even the cancer answer was created by a native tribe, which can cure cancer if you take it regularly. Just about any cancer. But see, here's the thing. Mankind is only thinking about one thing. And it's sure not God. It's about money. Aliens, we care about aliens flying through our skies. Okay, they're there. Get over it. Now what? We shot down some UFOs, some ships. All right. Guess what? Those races won't ever let it happen again. The Pleiadians, which is really us from the future people, it's not like another race, are here to make sure we don't destroy the planet. And I wonder if they really will step in when we actually try to, or we are going to. We already destroyed it pretty bad. But as long as it's here in a reality, their reality exists. So, but when we talk about other races, why they're here, we got abundance of everything. And it's not gold that they want. So, I mean, I don't want to debate every story out there because they're all lies. Lies, lies, and we get more and more lies every day. Stories in a secret mission, secret program. Yeah, the government has programs. They're building underground cities for a reason. They know what's going to happen. But do they care about 7 billion people? Of course not. They care about the rich people that feed and pay them. and they're the ones they have to protect. Look at it from a real estate. If you were a multi-billionaire and you had to move into the ghettos, would you be happy? What would you do? Would you say, hey, I'm going to make everybody rich and feed them all, give them houses and stuff? Or would you say, hey, let's get them out of here, let's remove them? It's a sad reality, but that's the truth. Rich people don't like poor people. I mean, if you look at the Democrats and Republicans, it's kind of like a small aspect of that. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Basic line. I mean, you could step out of being poor with some stupid little thing and become a millionaire. But it's not because some rich people wanted it. So think about what I'm saying. We're going to get into this a lot more heavier every day. I'm doing another show today, this afternoon, with 3 other people on www. Blog Talk Radio, TJ Morris ET Radio. We have 2 special guests on. I'm not going to say I agree with either one of them, but it should be interesting if you're into that kind of stuff. But here, personally, my teachings, my way is my way. And I can only give you what I know is the truth, the real truth, the honest truth, that'll help you get closer to God. Not to money, not to fame, not to fortune. I'm not here for that. And if that's what you want, follow these other people and pay them the money they want. Listen to their teachings, which are pretty simple. But with that, I'm going to close the show out today. My email address, Hawksblood1, HAWKSBLOOD1 at AOL.com. My Skype is Hawksblood11. I answer all my emails, good, bad, or indifferent. I'll talk to people on Skype. I'd rather talk than type. So please stay in touch if you're interested, want to learn something, or want to hear a specific topic, or get into a topic anytime. Please do it. So with that, enjoy your day. I hope this was all on the cuff. I'm not reading anything. I didn't write things down for this talk. Usually I keep guidelines so that I don't go, I mean, I do go off of it, but have something to come back to focus on which direction I want to go. So yeah, it goes a little bit around in circles when I don't do that. But hopefully you could follow through the circle that I created and come back to, what do you want in life? Truth or lies? The lies are multiple, the truth's so fine and small to find. And it's so hard to dig them out. All these UFO speakers go on and on about the government did this, the government did that. Well, are they evil because they're exposing the government? The government's trying to protect people, not all of us, but they're trying to protect people. And we get Snowden that gets thrown out of the country, and if he comes in, he'll probably get killed. All right, with that, I'll say peace. Till next time.